Well, hi guys, we're back. Thought I'd do a quickie on this radio. We got still do the alignment on anything, but
It's designed to get people. You know what? Okay, so I'm not succeeding, but that may
it
be
is
good.
working.
You know what?
I
That
gotta
may be good,
fix the
'cause I read
speaker.
other day
It's
that
got
success equals getting sick. I don't want to get sick.
some tears in it, and I haven't got to that
That's the
yet.
purpose of a story like that. It's like A-Rod. You heard A-Rod's latest? A-Rod opened a gym.
Tone control seems to be working. It's not too bad on volume.
You know what? Buying a house or a different house. Thanks for the call. Molly.
Now, I'm running just a few little test leads here for an antenna, so it's not the grandest. My good antenna or wire antenna I got rigged up is out in the garage, so we don't pick up too good in here. But at nighttime I had this thing running last night, and the shortwave was picking up pretty decently, even with a couple test leads hooked up to it. I picked up the atomic clock out in Denver, and several other shortwave stations. Now during the daytime you can't pick those up worth of crap. The other thing too is at nighttime you can pick up more AM stations too, regular broadcasts. They'll bounce off the ionosphere, so you can pick up long distance. It's kind of fun to do. I'm going to go ahead and shut this off. Now I do, these have got screw-in type bulbs. I can't remember the exact number. I think 47s. There's two of them in here that's hooked to the band switch that basically turns on whatever light up whichever band you're on. They're both burned out, so I need to order some up. I thought I had some, but I either misplaced them someplace or I just can't find them. So I thought shut things off here and show you some of the interesting things about this radio. Kind of get rid of some clip leads here, and maybe try to get her to lay over on her back a little bit better. I stuffed the caps mainly because there's only like two of them that were replacements, so otherwise the rest of them were factory. Now I didn't make up like dog bone. I've done that before. I've got forms for it, but I'm pretty low on material to do that, and I need to get some new paint. It turns out that, you know, paint, if you don't use it for a while and it's been open, it starts kind of getting yucky. So anyway, some point on a radio I'll do some of those and kind of show you the process of it. It's pretty simple. You know, you basically make a form from an old dog bone, and then after you got the form made, then you stick your new resistor in there, packed around some more putty. I use some stuff kind of like this. I can't remember the name of it. I got to get it from Walmart, but it's hardens pretty good. And then you just use you know, like model paint or acrylic paint or something to paint the bodies and get your color codes on there. Now we discussed this once before on another radio about where they located the power supply compared to the radio, you know, the circuitry. And in that radio they had actually, this is the front end of the radio here, and they'd located the power supply up here. This one is opposite that. The audio output tube is right here, 6F6. The pre-audio, preamp, and detector tube, well, preamp tube. The detector tube's here, and your first audio is here. And here's your transformer. Now, how they got by with this, with the rectifier and power supply in this section, was that they took and twisted all the leads that comes out of the transformer. Now what this does is it creates an inductive and capacitive coupling between the leads. Now that will not affect as far as voltage but what it does affect as far as the 60 hertz, it keeps them from leaking that out and acting as an antenna, and that way you don't get the interference from the transformer to your audio circuitry. And that's how they got by with that. Now they continued with the here is your filament leads, and they continue the twist and keeping them off to the edge down in the corner to keep those rather quiet so that they don't let off the 60 hertz again into any of the circuitry. So that's one thing I kind of wanted to talk about, and that's how you can get by with having a transformer and your power supply circuitry right next to your audio circuitry. RCA did this probably because it was just easier this way. Manufacturers do things, different ways, just whichever way is the easiest way to get everything fitted into the chassis and then fitted into the cabinet. Again, this chassis is used both for a console, and a console radio, a floor model radio, they would have had plenty of room to make the chassis bigger, but it's also made for a tabletop radio, kind of a, I'm going to bring up some pictures of it, but it's on the variety of a tombstone style. It's fairly narrow and kind of tall, so in order to fit that, the chassis had to be a certain dimensions, so then you end up getting a pretty tight chassis. So you try to fit everything where you can fit it and the best can, and then you just make use of tricks like this to eliminate noise and eliminate hum. Other than that, it's just a replaced wiring that was bad. A lot of this was the rubber coated wiring, and it was pretty, well, it was just brittle as all get out. This one here uses a kind of like a 10 ohm resistor here. This is for negative bias voltages for the audio tubes primarily, and in order to do that, that has to be in the center tap of the secondary before it goes to ground. So consequently, your filter caps are actually floating. So if you look down in here, there's an insulator that's in here where they bolt these down, and that keeps the grounds floating, the whole tower condenser floating, so that they can make use of that negative voltage and get your bias. It's basically about minus 15 to 16 volts on the audio output tube, and I believe, I would have to look at the voltage chart, but I think it's about minus 4.5 volts for the first audio. I did have to replace the volume control, and the one that was in here was literally as wore out as I've ever seen one. There was literally no carbon left on it. It was just the base material. That was all that was there. The your tone control, it operates a power switch, and then it's got a secondary switch in there. It's a variable resistance. It's a potentiometer. It operates one capacitor, and then the other capacitor kicks in when it hits the switch, which actually disconnects this one and everything and just clicks in one capacitor to have I guess a different type of tone to it. I don't really notice a whole lot of difference when I switch into that one, but you will notice it as far as the variance goes. Standard band switch, it's two position, 2 bands. That's about it on it. In the next video on this, we'll do alignment. It's close, but it probably could do some help to help it a little bit. This radio here, we'll talk more about it in alignment, but has an extra coil here, and it's a trap for actually basically for the same frequency as the IF. This is a 460 kilohertz trap. The IF is set at 460 kilohertz on this particular radio. Some radios do have these traps, some don't. So it's also set up to operate, that's what this is for, a phono, record player. And basically what they do is they've got a shorting bar that's here. When you flip that around and hook these two together when you're going to be operating and connect up a phonograph. Otherwise you flip it over on this side and that shorts this across so that the front end detector can get into the audio and flow through. So that's where we're at on it. It is working. Couple light bulbs, fix a speaker, do a little patchwork on it, and do alignment. And that'll be about as far as I can go on it. I've got some extra knobs. I just pulled these off real quick off another radio, and oh, I got to put the tops back on the cans. Glue them down. You can see the new caps stuffed inside, down in there, and the other one down in there. So I just got these little caps, and I'll just kind of glue them down on, and just kind of tack glue them just enough to hold them on. And that's pretty much where we're at. Unfortunately, I don't have any decent quality tubes that are not rusty. These are all the ones that was in it, so I'm either going to try to maybe take my hand at painting these. I'm not sure. I've never really messed with these. These are about the worst I've ever had that were rusty, or just leave them the way they are. So I just like I said, I wanted to get this video out and show you guys where we're at on it. And on the next one we'll do some get the alignment done. So until next time, thanks for watching and everything, and this one will be going up pretty much the same time as the other video I made, so there'll be a couple new videos showing up real quick. So I'll see you on the next video.